Yeah, okay, guys. So yesterday we had completed up to some of the life cycle methods. Now next, let me just open up Atom. Okay, so here you can see that I have my files over here. So this is the index.html, app.js, index.js. Great. So let me just open up command prompt and run the server. CD over to desktop and then CD over to learn, right? Yeah. Starting. Let us wait for it to start. Yeah, great. Okay. So this is what we achieved yesterday. Now if I go to app.js, let me just remove so many users because I don't need so many users right now. Great. Now if I go to my components and user.js, okay, you can see that yesterday we did build our entire logic and the component using class component way. Okay, so you can do the same using functional component as well, and that's like pretty easy. Okay, it's pretty easy and it won't be taking a lot of time for you to convert this to functional component way. Okay, so let us just do that. Let us convert it into functional component. So let me just, okay, here is the entire, like, okay, so I won't be removing that. I'll just remove this particular part. Okay, great. So before class components were used, but then the developers thought that class components are a lot of lines of code. Okay, they are really way too much, and so much lines of codes are not needed unnecessarily, and it's complicated as well. You know, everyone goes for functional programming, so that's the reason why we opted for functional component method rather than class component method. So if I just convert it into functional component, why my code does not work? Yeah, so const user, then after that I don't know why it is not, accepting. Now before doing this, just look at this particular thing, the class component. It's very big. Okay, now after this we'll be converting into functional component. uh, so this is barely, you can say, 20. Yeah, 28 lines of code. Inside app.js, we are using functional components. So yeah, great. No, I'm not trying to move it to trash. Why is it? Yeah. So over here. Okay. So right now, let us just convert it into a functional component. I don't know why it's not accepting, arrow function. So let us just go with the normal function which we used before. So function user, and then parameter is props, and then here it is. Okay, so over here what are we trying to do? We are trying to return our division. So here we have our div slash div, and then inside it what are we having? We are having a h1 with the props dot name, and then we are going to have a paragraph with props dot description. Okay, and here we have a paragraph, and this is it. Now it's not satisfying everything, but okay, let us just check what is written here. Unterminated JSX contains, it's unterminated. Still, what happened with this? That's the reason why I don't like, the older functional method. Mm-hmm. What error did we do? Like, it's fine, I guess. Nothing. Why this JavaScript is so much strict to the syntax? Everything is perfect as I can see. Can you guys find the error over here? I can get something. A bit, it's lagging. My voice is lagging. Is it? Is it? Is my voice lagging? Let's change it into classic arrow function method. Okay, that's better. I don't know if this will show the error or not, else I can fix the error. Is it lagging? What's happening with this? Unterminated JX. I don't see there is any issue over here. Can you guys find any issue over here? I don't see anything. Any issue over here. We have our return and everything is fine. Let us put it inside fragment if that will work. Still it's not working. Oh God, guys, see, this is called I mean, I don't know. Oh God, sorry. Yeah, obviously. Okay, so now it will work. We just have to avoid using the arrow function. Actually, I was in hurry and I thought that, yeah, it must be working. So, okay, my voice is clear, guys. Or is it bad? That was like I was in a hurry to write this code. So I was like, okay, I must have given a, closing tag for the paragraph. A bit shaky. What can I do? Just a second. Let me join the meet using my phone then. Give me 1 minute. Okay, now can you hear me properly because I have connected using my phone. So I guess now it's fine. Everything. Yes. Okay, so I'll have to update it else the voice will be shaky forever. Okay, great. So right now you can see that everything is working perfectly fine. But
this is it, but this was not all of our code. We had a lot of things. We had a constructor function, we had our states, right? We had all of our states and we were changing them, and everything was there. So all of those things are not present over here. We don't have our states over here, because in functional programming, like when you turn your class components into functional components, states cannot be used. Okay, so for enabling state uses over inside your functional components, you have to use another thing which is called hooks. Okay, so hooks basically allow you to use states inside functional components, to be very clear. Okay, just forget about all the bookish definitions you will be getting for hooks. But why hooks were introduced? Hooks are just introduced to enable use of state in your functional functional component. Okay, so this is why hooks were introduced. Now, how are hooks and what are the popular hooks present inside your React? So the most popular hooks present inside React are the use state and use effect hook. Okay, so you will understand what is basically use state and what is basically use effect. Use state, as you guys know, or let me be clear, it is basically used to update a state. Okay, previously you were using set state, right? But here you use the use state hook. So I can just write here the two important hooks which are very like useful: use state and use effect. Okay, so use state is basically used to update your state. Okay, and use effect is basically used for like putting your logic, or putting in some checks, right? Putting in some heavy computation or something like that. You will be seeing how to use the use effect hook. It's basically used now whenever you want to check that, okay, was my state updated, and was my state updated to the same value I'm trying to update it again and again. So use state will basically, use effect will basically prevent it from updating again and again. Okay, so let us just see. You won't be getting all of that because we have not taken any example, but let us just see how things are done over here. Okay, great. So to use the use state and use effect hook, now you have to import it from React, because by default it's there with React, but you have to destructure it and import it, because in React a lot of things are exported. You want to use some specific things out of that, you have to import it and then you have to use it. So how to import some specific things when a lot of things are exported from a particular module? You have to use the destructure. Okay, so here we have to use the use state and the use effect. Okay, so these are the two hooks which we will be using. Yeah, and they will basically help us to use states inside your functional programming. Okay, great. After this, let us just see why our this thing is not accepting you know, the like the arrow functions. Let us just search, because that's very important. We are learning ES version 6, right? So it's better we go with arrow functions. React error on arrow functions. Unable to use arrow functions inside. Okay, okay. So a lot of it is not arrow function, it is the class properties are not a part of ES version 6. If you want to okay, alternative, use arrow function, because I want to use arrow function, else it will be really how to basically include this plugin. This plugin is included in blah 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 installation. Okay, let us just install it and see. because I seriously want you guys to not follow the normal functions rather than you follow the class functional ways. So let me just install this plugin. Hmm. Whosoever is getting the issue, they can also try this out. I don't know what's happening with the uh, yeah, it's resolved. Great. Stack Overflow always works. So yeah, I'm happy that it is resolved. I guess yeah. I'm just sending it. Oh, I can just paste it over here. Just install this inside the root route of your file, inside the root route of your folder, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, great. After this, okay. So after this, what are we going to do? We are going to use the use state and use effect hook. Okay. So over here, what is the use state hook? It basically says that you have a array. Okay, inside use state, there is a proper format. So let us have a const array called planet, because we were working with planet only. And then set planet. Why set planet? Because whenever you are having some, like you are creating your hook, right? You are creating your some of the updation function, then you have to use set, and then after that you can use the name. Okay, similarly, if you create your own hook, then you will be having this set here planet, or set here my name Aradhna. So what is this? This is basically the function. This planet thing, it's the initialization, it's the constructor. Okay, planet is basically, you can say, a variable or a property which contains the initial value of whatever you give after this. And set planet is your own function which will be used to update your planet. Okay, so this is how hooks work. And after this, you have to use your use state hook. So use state, and here the initial, initialization value, or the initial value of a planet is planet earth. Okay, if you want to update this planet earth, then you have to use the set planet function. Okay, because you have given here a name called set planet, so you have to use the set planet over there. Okay, now over here you have next two life cycle methods, that this is update is basically component did mount, and then you basically say that okay, component will unmount, or component, you have to check that did the component really mount or not, or did not the component mount, and these all things. Okay, so let us just do this. Let us just perform certain things, and let us see how things happen over here. So here you see component did mount. So component did mount will basically see that your component has mounted or not. And if your component has mounted, then do you want to update your component, or you don't want to update your component, something like that. Okay, so over here, what can we do? We can use this particular hook to perform our like next operation, like some changes or something like that. Great. So over here, what can we do? We can have our use effect hook. So use effect. After this use effect, we will have our callback function. Inside our callback function, let us just console log things, so that to see, our component was mounted or our component was not mounted. So component mounting. Okay, component mounting. And over here, you will have to put an empty array over here, because if you don't put an empty array, and suppose here, a lot of things are happening, a lot of computation is there, heavy computation is there. So that thing will be going on repeating a lot of times unnecessarily, which will slow down your program. So that is the reason you put here an empty array, because initially, this is the initial use effect. So here, what are you trying to do? You are trying to update your some state you want to update. Suppose here I want to update planet earth, so I can put any logic over here to update my planet earth. Now then you are not checking that okay is it updated or not. Basically here the second parameter is for checking to the previous value, and if you are trying to update it again and again to the same value, then it will not run the function. Basically in the initial stage you do not have any value to check, okay, because you're trying to update things. So over here we have an empty array. Now after that you basically have a check for the component did update or not. So here is your next like life cycle method, that is component did update. Okay, so over here again you use the use effect hook, but here with a slight change you use. First of all, what were we doing that time? We were basically having our use effect hook, we were console logging, and we were routing component mounting. And then here let us write component changes. Inside component changes, now you have to check that okay, whatever change I have done, is it like same to the previous value, that is this planet? If it is same, then please prevent this hook from again like rerunning the callback function, or like recalling it. Because if suppose right now we have a very few lines of code, just one line of code over here, but in future we can have a lot of lines of code, and that's pretty obvious that will have a lot of heavy computation. So that is the reason why you put here a kind of check, where it checks that okay, what are you trying to update over here is not getting, you're not trying to update it again and again to the same value. Okay, if you are trying to, then it will just prevent it from running again and again. Okay, so that is how things are working over here. That is how you basically do these things. Okay, got it. So this is how you check that okay, you have updated it, you haven't updated it, how things are working. Now suppose how will I see that is it updating or not? For updating, obviously you have to call this set planet function, right? You have to call this function set planet, and then it will be checking that okay, this was it updated or not. So what can I do over here? Let us just have certain element over here. Let us have a button, okay, which on click will change its value. Okay, which on click will change its value. So over here, what can I write? I can write, okay, I have a on click, function, or an event listener, which will basically listen to all the events like whichever are happening on click, and it will try to update the particular thing. So over here we have a function, and let us just define the function over here. You can write the function elsewhere and just call the function on click. Since it's a small function, so I'm just writing it down over here only. So here what can we do? We can have a set planet, and I can set the planet to probably Pluto. Okay, Pluto. And then inside the button, I can every time reflect the planet. Okay, reflect the planet. So what is happening over here? First of all, this will check that okay, is the planet right now, I want to change the planet, so is the user clicking on the button or not? So if the user is clicking on the button, then do update it. So it will go to the set planet, and it will basically update it. Set planet, you, as I have told you, it's basically for updating your state. Yeah, after updating your state, it will go automatically to the use effect. Okay, so after use effect, it will say that okay, my previous state was earth, now the state is Pluto. Okay, I'll just run this again, because over here it will just run it, and it will just see that okay, component mounting done, great. Then it will come to the use effect, it will see that okay, the planet was previously it was earth, now the planet has changed and it has become Pluto. So it will say that okay, fine, cool, everything working, so great. Again, when it will come over here now, again if you try to click the button 10 times, you click the button 10 times, okay, then if you are not having this particular thing now, unnecessarily it will run 10 times, and suppose you have 10,000 lines of code inside it now, those 10,000 lines of code will run again and again. Okay, that's not done. So that is the reason we have a check over here, which will basically check that is the current state same to the previous state. So it will see that yeah, it is, so it will never go into the callback function. Okay, so this is how things will work. Okay, this is how things will work. So if I just save this, and if I just go over here, You can see I have Earth. So if I click on this, it has become Pluto. Now, if I control shift I and go to console, you can see that planet changes has happened just 2 times. Component mounting has happened 1 time, because that's the initial, that's like the first step. And after that, it basically checked that, okay, is the planet, like changing or not? Is the planet state same as the previous state or not? So for that, it has to go for 2 rounds of check. The first round of check, it will basically see that, okay, the first round of check, it's like happening, yeah, planet has changed. Now the second round of check, okay, the planet has not changed, so stop it there. Okay, so that is how it works. Now even if I am clicking on this, okay, I'm clicking on this, but you can see that it's not happening again and again, because it has stored now the initial state, and it has understood that the user is trying to change it again and again to the same state. Okay, so I will not run all of the code again and again. So that is how this works. Got it? Understood? It can be a bit of difficult, to understand, because I do understand that initially it's like, what? No? Understood or not? Yeah, I'll repeat it. Do not worry. So please tell me what doubt you have. Okay, so that I can focus on that particular thing and explain the entire thing. Okay. Syntax? Anything else? See. Okay. So I'm repeating again. Yeah, the flow will go. Okay, the workflow. Great. So over here, over okay, so over here you have your entire thing. Okay, you have your use state, you have your use effect. Why hooks are used? Because states cannot be directly used and updated in your functional component. So that is the reason why hooks are used. Now over here, first is the array where you have your planet and set planet. Planet is an initial state, and set planet is your function. Okay, your function for updating your planet state. Okay, you can change it to anything. You can, it's not necessary that you have just set planet over here. You can have anything over here, but make sure that it starts with set and the next, it follows camel casing. Okay, great. Then React will understand that this is basically a kind of update. For state updation, this function is there. After that, you have use effect hook. Use effect hook is use state. You understood what is the importance of use state hook? It is basically used to initialize your entire state and then prepare your, or let the React application know that what is your updated like updation function for your state. Okay, great. After that, you have your use effect, which is basically used to first check that is your component updated or not. Then if it is updated, do not update it again and again. So that is the reason why we have our use effect. So here I have just one console log logic. You'll never have it like you have a on click and you click on that particular button, and when you click on that particular button, just the state will change. It will never happen like that. You can have a whole lot of logic over here and over here. Suppose you have a lot of logic over here, which is basically going to be executed whenever initially your entire state is there. And suppose someone has clicked on the button and you want another logic to be performed whenever you are trying to change the state. So this, suppose that this is the logic. Okay, so initially what will happen now, when you run your entire function, it will go to the use effect hook. Now if I just refresh this entire thing, you can understand this entire thing. Okay, uh, yeah, so over here you can see that component mounting planet changes has happened one, because that's the workflow. That is how things will happen. It will go through all of the function. It went through the use effect thing. It went through the component mounting. It saw that, okay, initially the state was earth. Now also the state is earth. Now again it went through this particular thing, planet changes. Initially the state was Earth, now also the state is Earth, one time executed. Then after that, why this hook is present? This hook is present to be executed whenever your state changes. Okay, so when I just click on this particular thing, the state has changed. Okay, the state has changed from Earth to Pluto, because I have used the use state, set planet state change function, and that is the reason why the state has changed. And it has checked that okay, the state has changed from the previous Earth to the new, planet, that is Pluto. So it executed only this particular fragment, because that's for checking updation and doing the necessary steps required. Now if I go and if I just run it again and again, if I click it again and again, you'll see that nothing happens, because it is checking that okay, I have checked that the initial state and the current state, they are same. So what's the reason of like executing this callback function again and again? If I suppose remove this, okay, if I remove this and if I save it and if I go over here, then you can see that if I just click on this, just a second, let me refresh it. Okay, just a second. It acts weird sometime. To throw a lot of, you can see that planet changes. It is happening, number of times. It's happening number of times. Planet changes should only happen, twice, but it is happening thrice. Sometimes it can happen more number of times as well, because React is kind of weird. So that is the reason why it can happen a lot of times, but you could have noticed that it is happening more than what is required. So that is how it works. And that is the reason why you should have these checks over here. Okay, got it. So this is how it works. So you can see that it is now, it's happening a lot of times. So if I just refresh it and if I just do it once and it happened, yeah, everything is good to go. Everything just two times, like one for checking initial state and one for checking the change state. And after that, if I click on this, it will not happen. Okay, ma'am. So in the array, we can have, yeah, you can have a lot of logic. I'm just using a simple console log statement. You'll see a lot of logic will be there when we go to our Zomato master. Okay. Okay, got it. So if you want Earth again, when you click on Pluto, then you can check that if the initial state is same as this particular state, then store this Pluto state in some other variable or create another state for that particular thing and check it and bring it back to the previous state. This can be done. Okay. Yeah, second is for checking. Got it? Understood? Let me just push this to GitHub. Sorry. What if we directly user planet? What if we directly user planet? Yeah, exactly. What if we directly user planet? Use planet. I could not understand this. Okay, so get status. Why it happens every time? They have not saved everything. Okay, I have pushed everything. Please take 2 minutes and complete this. See, now it's just the starting of React. When you know that what things exist, then we will be going on and preparing two very big projects on React. You'll understand everything about React. Okay, do not worry about. Okay, so which is better? Actually, you should follow both because you need someone to make you understand. That is the reason all the developers first go through some of the courses and then they apply it in projects. So yeah, first you go through tutorials, then you make your project sideways. Okay, what if we use planet directly in the first use effect instead of in checking use effect one? Yeah, you can do it, but usually people have na different logic for first doing certain thing like this in a lame way, like when things are not changing, then they have certain other logic, which basically happens when you change certain things, right? So that's the reason we have two use effect. You can have 1,000 use effects as well. Okay, based on your requirements. Got it, everyone? If it's showing error, you're missing somewhere. So, okay, this is fine. This particular thing is fine. Let it be. It happens. Okay. But are you getting all the things or not? If you are, then that's fine. Okay. Okay, you are getting some other error. Please check that you have, proper things with you. Like you have done all the things over here and the code is fine. Go to GitHub, go to my repo. Okay, guys, are you done, everyone? Whosoever are getting error, I guess it is because you are messing somewhere with the code. Please take time and do it. Okay, rather than rushing. Yeah, great. So do not worry if you are like feeling that you do not have a good grip on React because we'll be performing a lot of projects on React. So you'll understand it anyways. Yeah, great. So over here we have this. Let me just cancel it. Okay, let me just stop the server, because right now we just have the concepts of React. We will be applying them and we'll be understanding how to do things. Okay, after this we'll be having our tailwind CSS. Okay, now we'll go on and have our tailwind CSS. So to have our tailwind CSS, what we require, we first require a React application. So let us prepare a new React application. So let me go to create a React app. Okay, so follow these steps, whatever is given over here. So cd back over to desktop, and then npx create React app, and then tailwind. Okay, it will just create it. Till then, till it's creating the entire thing, let me tell you about tailwind CSS. Let us go to tailwind CSS documentation. So tailwind CSS. Yeah, over here you can see that like Bootstrap is fine, but tailwind CSS is a way better way of doing things. Here you have got a lot of diversity. You can see that if I go to tailwind CSS, I get almost everything. Okay, so here you can see that if I just have certain classes like simple or playful, elegant, then the entire CSS changes. Okay, and they have got with a whole lot of things, a whole lot of style variations, color variations, and you can say font variations. So a whole lot of things are available inside your tailwind CSS, and you can just go around with this and check what is basically the things available inside tailwind CSS. You can see that if you just want to have a dark mode, the entire styling changes. Okay, all the things change, like, and it's like pretty vintage and pretty classic rather than Bootstrap. Bootstrap does not provide a lot of shades, a lot of variations, and nowadays tailwind CSS is on the market. That's the reason we will be using tailwind CSS, and right now like all the people are using it. Okay, so first of all, if you want to use tailwind CSS with the React, okay, you can just go to the documentation as well to know that what are the things you want for tailwind CSS and how to basically do it. So if you want to have it using React, then here you can see that they have their own tailwind CSS create React application. Like for React application, if you want to have your tailwind CSS, then you have it over here, and this is where we will be using things, and we will be using knowing how to basically use tailwind CSS with the React application. It's going to be fun because tailwind CSS has a whole lot of things. You do not have to make your custom class for putting in certain styles. You can basically put in one of the classes of tailwind CSS and you are good to go. You do not have to worry about a lot about kind of screen sizes and media queries and all. They have got you. So that's the reason why we will be using tailwind CSS. So if you are done with the React creation, happy hacking, great. So let me cd over to tailwind. Great. After, see, here you have after seeding over to your entire project, what you have to do, just follow these steps. Okay, I'm just copying this link and pasting out it here that you guys can use it. So the first step is npm install and this entire thing. Okay, this entire thing. So let me just copy it, go over here, paste it inside the root route. Okay, so after I paste it, I just click enter. Let us wait for it to make it happen. Great. After this, you have to install the crack code. Just follow the steps whatever is given over here. So I'll just paste it over here and wait it. Yeah, wait for it. Till then, what can we do? We can just switch over to the new window and cancel this and go to our atom editor, pull in this. Okay, great. So Krakow is done. After Krakow is done, here it's written that go to your package.json and replace these three lines with these three lines. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to copy your entire thing and you have to replace start, build and test with these three lines in your package.json. So let us go to our package.json. Okay. Inside your script, just copy these three lines and replace with these three. Okay, so you are done with the next step. Great. So you are doing, guys, you are doing right. Wait, let me show you. Let me give a demo and then I'll be giving you time as well to do. Next, create a craco.config.js at the root of your project. So what we have to do, we have to first copy this. Then we have to create a craco.config.js with the same name, exact same case as well. Okay, in the root route. Okay, so root route means where the node modules are present. So here I'll create a new file called craco.config.js. Great. So I guess the file name is exactly same as what they needed, craco.config.js. Yeah. And here I paste it. Great. So our next step is done. After that, what is, yeah, here they have their particular command. A lot of computers do not support it. Still we'll try it. If it does not support, we'll basically create this file and paste it over, paste the entire code over there. Let us just try it out. I don't think it will work, or I don't know, in my Linux it was not working. Yeah, here it worked. Okay, to proceed. Okay, so they have created tailwind.config.js file. So great. This is fine. This is done. After this is done, let us go to next step. And here you have to basically copy this purge statement and paste it over there. This is basically useful for tailwind CSS because this, automatically checks that what are the classes you are using right now and what are the classes you are not using right now but are still present on your entire file, and they just give you some hints or some links, to basically remove those statements. So that's the reason why we'll be using it, but we won't be getting right now because we won't be having any unnecessary classes. But yeah, instead of the purge, you have to paste this and you have to save this. Okay, great. Yeah, after doing this, great, you just need to go to your CSS file, to your index.css of your SRC. Let us go to our index.css of SRC, remove everything and paste it over here. Okay, great. After doing so, you have to import, yeah, index.css is basically imported in our app component, right? Isn't it imported? So let us see in our index.js, is it imported or not? Yeah, index.css is imported. Inside our app.js, we won't be requiring so many things. We will remove this. Okay. And yeah, you are good to go. So to check whether tailwind CSS is present inside your app component or not, we will be seeing whether it's present or not. So let us have a button over here. So we will have a button. Let's have a button over here. Great. And let us give a class name to our button. So let us give a class name of probably, what can we have over here? Let us search for button. Okay, quick search anything. Button. Oh, sorry. Button. Yeah. So here for button, you have a lot of things. Okay. So, great. We will be having let us have certain styles for our button over here. So before doing so, guys, did you like finish up to here, or okay, I have to wait obviously. So let me wait for you guys. Finish off first up to here. You just have to follow the documentation, nothing too much. Okay, let me just show you like how to do this, else you won't be able to. Instead of button, because right now you have not gone through so many classes, I was just trying to show you a beautiful button, but right now we haven't gone through so many classes inside Tailwind. So let me just go for a text or a font, maybe color. Okay, so can go for a color over here. So you have got a lot of colors. So great. Let us use a particular color over here inside our text. So let me just have it. Which color can we use? This entire thing. Wait a second. The color which I'm searching for, they are not showing me that particular color. Text color, yeah. Great. So we can have a text of probably this particular color, green 500. So what can we do over here? We can have a H1, yeah. And inside H1, you need to have your class name. You cannot have class like, you cannot write just class like you used to do inside HTML. You have to have class name, okay. And then text green 500. Now inside it, we can have maybe hello all, okay. And if I save this, I go here and I write here npm start. You can see that tailwind start, Krakow start, and it will by default open it inside Internet Explorer, which I don't want. Let it open. Open fast. Okay. Now if I go over here and show it to you guys. Yeah, you can see that the font is different. It's not like, you know, the normal HTML and all thing. Here you have hello all with the color we required. So tailwind is successfully set up. By this you can confirm. So yeah, now you guys do and do ask me what issues you have over here. Okay, so that I can fix them all. So I'm giving you 5 minutes. Yeah, great. Yeah, guys, so I guess you have done. So React, no, React has not even started. We have not done any project on React. Okay. So, okay, guys, if you are done, then we will be terminating the class. You can go through the recording and do it when you are free. I'll be uploading the recording. So, yeah. Okay, guys. Bye bye.